Hey folks, welcome back. We're picking up again at the end of the medieval. We were just about to transition to the early modern, and I posed a question to everyone about what culture I should pick, and seems like there was perhaps a little bit of favoritism towards the Edo. And I actually kind of agree. I'm not sure there's ever going to be another situation that I'm going to play the Edo Japanese in. This does feel like a perhaps good time for me to play them. I think the thing with VIP, right, is that the Teras doesn't require being connected to the main plaza or administrative center. I feel like maybe that was changed in the base version of the game, but I do have a lot of mountains in my terrain that I can actually make use of. And I am like falling a little bit behind on my influence generation, as you can see right here. I only have 1 star for the era. So this feels about as good a time as any to take the Edo. So we're just going to go ahead and do that before we forget, because I am frequently prone to forgetting to take my culture. And we're not going to ask for any surrender here. I was kind of browsing around and looking at how much war score I had before I started to record, and I was looking at my situation here, right, because the black player actually declared war on me kind of at the end of the last episode, so I'm going to need to get over there as well to do a little bit of damage. I am 1 above my city cap right now, and I'm going to be even farther above my city cap once I start taking some of these cities. So I'm not sure what I want to prioritize here. I don't think I can take all of them. I'm thinking maybe I take, like, Asur and Urim and maybe Ninawa. I don't know. I'd like to maybe combine some of these. So I need to take Urim back because that was taken from me. So I'm going to send an army over that way and take care of that really quickly. I am also going to make sure that we bring Ninawa into our, I don't want to say sphere of influence, but under our control. Sphere of influence, a little bit different. And we can't deploy up on the terrain there, so we'll just go into various locations where we have line of fire. I'm actually going to pull those guys off the river. They'll probably come attack me right here. Yep, there they are. So now I can pull these guys back a little bit. Yeah, we'll just hit the peasants. We'll pop on the flag there. We're not worried about our militarist stars this time. We already have them for the era, so we don't need to worry about killing more of these units. And we'll just reoccupy the city. But we will try to avoid taking a little bit of damage here if we can. Alright. So there's Urim back under our control, and then we're going to need to siege Ninawa as well. And I can't actually do anything with this army because they're all knights or various forms of cavalry. I'm just going to let that go for now, because what'll happen if I step out of Asur is that these Mongol hordes will attack me or just take the city back, right? They can just walk straight in and liberate their friendly city. Thankfully, I have plenty of options for dealing with Hunnic hordes in the medieval. I guess we can just knock out that one. Hunnic hordes, not really much of a threat by the time you're this far into the game. They will not do too much damage to me. Actually, 15 is even a little bit more than I would have anticipated. This is the tricky part, right? Is that they tend to run away like this. Though they came back into my line of fire, which feels a little odd. Just push up here and blast them with the crossbows so we don't take any reciprocated damage. Okay, we have an individual cog over here. I'm actually going to maybe use them to start exploring a bit. Let's come over this way. I want to get a good sense of what the coast over here looks like, because they will eventually be a target. The yellow player, I squeezed a little bit ahead of them in fame, but we're very close at the moment, and they were ahead of me for a while and are more advanced in terms of their era progress. I would really like to catch this guy. There we go. Let's make sure that these cogs are available, and we're just going to do a manual battle here, and we have a pretty significant tech advantage in this fight, though they are occupying a very interesting part of the battlefield here where I'm going to be quite limited in the number of cogs that I can bring to bear. Yeah, I don't think I can even kill this guy in the first round of combat here. Okay, I managed it. So it's going to be slow going, though, just because we're pretty limited. And then we have a law that we can vote on. We're going to go for naturalized colonies. We don't need to concentrate all of our yields in our capital because we have a decent number of cities. It'd be kind of silly to do that. Let's pull in a new guy here, and we'll just start working on one of these. This is going to take a long time to break through if I am only attacking one unit at a time. Okay, they left a spot open for me, though, so I can actually make 2 attacks here. We'll just keep all of our units kind of close to the front so that they can move in and reinforce as needed. This guy is getting pretty low, so we'll need to move him eventually. I'd actually lose that one. And then we'll end our turn, and here we are in the early modern as the Edo. So this guy will, I think, die if I move them. Maybe? Yeah, he was going to die either way. It's fine. I'm kind of surprised that they are... meant to move him first. That they're doing that much damage to my cogs, but it is what it is. Really don't mind losing a single cog. It's not that big of a deal. I can produce them very effectively at this point in the game. And they're not even going to attack me here. Make sure we're getting all our adjacency bonuses. And there we go. Alright, that deals with most of their fleet, which has been kind of annoying. Chase after these Hunnic hordes. I think I can deal with them with that assortment of units there. And we can start working on a Terra. Let's look at our wonders. Plenty available. Machu Picchu's been taken already, which is fine. We didn't get Angkor Wat. So, thinking we either start with Santa Maria or Topkapi, kind of the usual. Make sure there isn't any major difference here. Yeah, 5 influence per territories under religions. Influence, still really good. 50% production towards any shared projects. Yeah, still really good. Taj Mahal. This one's a little different. 100% money per trader on settled city. So not just raw money output anymore. St. Basil's, still primarily about faith generation. Brussels, yeah, mostly about the fame still. Alright, let's just grab Topkapi as kind of a default go-to here. We also have Cultural Blitz available. And I'm going to... I don't know. I guess it's all really the same because I control everything. We'll do it up there and just get a little bit of extra influence in the bank so that we can move straight into grabbing another wonder once that becomes applicable. I'm also thinking about absorbing one of these cities into the other one. Like, maybe these two. Yeah, let's do that because I'm worried about my city cap. That's going to tank my food. Let's buy out that farmer's quarter. We'll move some folks onto food there. And we can get some decent harbors as well. Just going to buy one and then maybe start working on another farmer's quarter here. Yeah, we can get it right in there. So we'll probably lose a little bit of population on this. It's not that big of a deal. It'll stabilize relatively quickly. If there's a good hamlet, yeah, we could get an okay amount of food there as well. So we'll just work on stabilizing here, and then we can start getting some of these Terras. We have some decent locations for these, just because there are actually mountains in this area. And I'm largely just going to take the suggestions. Right there might not be necessary. One of the nice things about the Teras is that they do provide positive stability, so there might be options to combine some more cities later in the game and not have them have major stability impacts. It'll also let me go over the city cap a little bit more easily, because I'm sure you recall, that's a garrison there. That's probably worth replacing, though. Not a great garrison. I'm sure you recall, right, that in VIP, the penalty for being over the city cap is actually stability rather than influence, right? So it makes it quite a bit more penalizing to be able to be over the city cap. We're just going to queue up as many Terras as we can get in here. Some of these maybe not quite so worth it. There's... We'll leave the rest of it for now. We're primarily worried about the influence output that we can get from them rather than any of the stability effects. And let's pull some of these units over here to help out with the siege. I guess that is a better way to go, maybe? Kind of funny that I can get in the zone there. I guess the Swahili unit is still carrying over since I haven't replaced that yet, so I have some extra movement. So we'll go ahead and assault here. And we'll take over this city, and then we can turn our attention, I guess that would be westward. So we're going to need our melee units on the frontier. We can maybe just have one of the elephants kind of hang out and maybe absorb a few hits for us. We don't have any siege weapons this time, so there's not much we can do to actually get our units into the city. I'm going to just end my turn and see if they'll attack me, because I don't really want to attack over the walls if I can avoid it. There is a lot of stuff to pick up out here, actually. And tech, we want centralized power. That'll unlock our Naginata Samurai, which is our special unit. Also get us the taxation office, which will hopefully improve our gold output a decent bit. And then, of course, we're going to go straight into humanism for the luxury manufactories, as always. There's pretty much no reason not to do that every game. Okay, so black player, what are they? They're still in the medieval, and they have really old units. I think I'm going to make this attack and just start wearing down their war support a little bit. Yeah, so they'll at least take a retreat penalty there. And they're taking some ticking war support because they declared war on me for some unknown reason. Bit of a weird decision on their part. Yeah, we have some decent Terra locations out here. Either of those will do. And, yep, nice set of mountains right there. I'm also thinking about maybe grabbing Top Cappy first. Like, we could... I don't know. Do we want it in this city? Now that I've combined it with another one. That's a huge stability surplus there. Who has my lowest surplus? 84, 134... 93, 279. Okay, so I guess right here has the lowest surplus. So we could put it in Thebes. And it'd be a good spot. Probably just build it like on the river here. And I'm going to just put everyone on that, I think. We'll just wrap up that research quarter quick. And let's get Top Cappy moving. Just because we would like to claim some of the other high-value wonders in this era. I've noted this before, but the early modern era is really the best era as far as wonders are concerned. I'm going to lose pop here, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so they made some attacks here. Knock those peasants out. Let's hop over the walls there. Get a little bit more adjacency, and we can start attacking those peasants. I don't think these units really need to move. They can definitely absorb another couple hits here. Okay, and... this guy will need to pull back. Let's see if we can... Yep, we can knock those peasants out, which will let us just hop on the flag right there. And we're just going to try to get as much adjacency onto these swords as possible, since they're all going to start running into them and trying to capture the flag back. Just want to make sure that they don't take any substantial damage or don't end up dying. There we go, there's Nineveh. Okay, definitely a lot of resources in this city because of this island over here, so that's going to be pretty critical to take. We could... go for peace. There is a consideration of, do I want to capture Unug? Because that would kind of give me a better path into the black player's territory. But I actually don't think I want to extend this war any further. I'm going to ask for their surrender, and I'm going to have them give me everything that I can take off of them. I guess I don't need that one right there necessarily. Well... I could give up this city here. All it has is the one ebony. My concern is that that one ebony is what I'm going to need in order to get the manufactories. I suppose it's in my client state. I actually don't know how the client state resources contribute to manufacturer or manufacturing availability. So I would still like to take Urim if at all possible. Yeah, I think I just give up that territory there. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I have 18 war score left over. That'll just get converted into a little bit of reparation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And, oh man, I could renounce a lot of grievances there, which I think I'm going to do, because that is a lot of leverage that'll help me get my era stars. Okay, I'm now 4 over the city cap, so we're definitely going to do a little bit of absorbing here. So I'm thinking right here, and probably right here as well. They have basically no stability for the time being. Maybe I can get Top Cappy down to a couple turns. No, makes no difference with these ones. So I think I'm probably just going to have them work on some terraces? Terrai? Oh, does this exploit food? Not sure why it's telling me that I'm getting food there. Let's cancel that one, because that one's actually a lot less good than the one that is actually by mountains. Just kind of put it on the edge of that territory there, I suppose. And then up here, it can go in either location. We'll just put it there. And we'll put it there. Are these commons quarters? No, they just count as religious districts. Oh, man. There's, like, no infrastructure in these cities. Brutal. Okay. Well, let's... 30 industry there. Let's try to get that first. Let's just buy our pottery workshop, I guess. And then Asur. Yeah, again, there's like no stability here. Did not mean to select that. Get some Teras just for the stability. And get a couple adjacent Teras there. And I guess we build it by the religious district. Urim. There's no recommended location. Urim I should maybe just pillage. Like, this is a pretty crappy city. Let's just have it help on Topkapi. I don't think I want this as an independent city. Let's move him there. And we'll get rid of that and just... Oh, okay, all good. So we'll get that pillaged, and then we can resettle that in a minute. And then they have this army running around. They're going to try to pillage some of my unattached territories. They're the Mongols now. And let's try to take care of some of these guys that are still roaming around. I want to get them out of my territory. And we'll have to deal with a bit of a navy from the black player as well, who does have cogs available, so a little bit more combat competitive. Right. And out here, still some more items we can pick up. We'll try not to have that unit die if we can avoid it. We'll just grab a little influence purchase harbor there. And Thebes... I finally have access to regular harbors, so there are going to be more coastal areas that I'll be able to exploit, which will be quite helpful. I wonder if... where... I already have a harbor in that territory. I see. I was wondering why I couldn't place one there, and it felt a little weird. Yeah, I could get 22 food there. There are some options available. Yeah, let's make sure we're taking out these stupid horse archers. Suppose we can upgrade a few units to Naginata now. We can do the same up here. Make sure we get this territory back first. And we have foreign customs. Minus 25% trade route maintenance, okay, or +1 influence per number of trade routes, prevents the spread of other empire spheres of influence through controlled territory. Okay. Let's go with the extra influence per number of trade routes, I guess. Just because it's nice to eliminate that influence spread that opponents get. Okay, I can get a rear attack there. I can get a rear attack there. Probably just use these knights exclusively to wrap up these other knights. I have a really big combat strength bonus over them. Knights are just a lot better attacking than they are defending because of the charge that they get. Okay, diplomatic cooperation with the Aztecs. Absolutely. Please send me your leverage. The more of it I can get, the better. And then our cogs down here. Make sure we're combining these into like one reasonably sized fighting force. Okay, I only have 6 slots, but we'll get them moving. Suppose this guy can combine in with that one there. Alright, and let's get them back to shore, and they can heal up a bit, and then do a little bit of exploration over here. I'm going to have to deal with Haudenosaunee at some point. They do have quite a bit of tech, which does worry me a bit. Where are my pikes? Here they are. To make sure we're upgrading these. I mean, combat strength difference here is pretty big, right? This is 49, and this is 34. So, pretty substantial upgrade. Now, the knights are going to get dated pretty quickly here once the other player starts getting halberdiers, which could happen. Let's see, Aztecs. We also could get some more trade here. Wouldn't mind getting some extra dye. It's a decent bit of cost. Yeah, let's see. Is there anything else? Gold would actually be pretty good. Let's go ahead and grab that, and that'll give us a percentage increase to some of our gold outputs. All of our gold outputs, really. We don't really know anything about that territory, so let's go up there. We'll send this other unit down here. Okay, so we're going to have to take the ocean route to Black. We're going to have to, like, go over here, come up around onto this island, disembark on that side. We'll need a little bit of naval support to deal with that. Actually, that army's a little stronger than I thought they were. Let's do a manual battle. I'm going to do something like this. I don't actually want to deploy on this terrain down here. I'm going to stay off the river. Maybe I actually do something like that. I suppose they can attack onto either of those. Yeah. Let's do that and see what happens. I'm curious how they'll play this. I'm pretty sure I can win this battle, though. Because what I'll need is a unit that can get back onto this flag. So this unit right here allows me to do that. I can't shoot over that terrain there, actually. So I can only shoot one at a time. I wish I had some knights right now. Right? Let's see what happens. I assume they'll bring a full health unit there. Okay, the Haras again. Or Heras. I actually don't know. I'm not worried about losing this battle, actually, because my units are not retreating already. So the fact that I'm losing that battle, I'll lose a little bit of war support, maybe. Actually, no, because I didn't lose any units, so I'm all good. I'm going to refuse that white peace. They declared war on me, and I am going to make them pay for it. Let's take a look at our stability. Yeah, still some issues. What is my... Man, a 61% deficit is insane. I thought this was going to be able to handle combining a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to have to probably purchase some things here to get out of the hole. They already have the walls, which add stability in VIP. I could get some commons quarters. Like if I took out an existing district, I could get a pretty decent refund. Like this. Okay, those are makers' quarters. I don't really care about like that market quarter, for instance. Or that science quarter is pretty terrible right here. I think I might do that. Just so that the stability can recover. Alright, gotta keep chasing these guys down. We're just gonna run around my territory, basically. And we're not gonna worry about purple and pink anymore. We're just going to go after the black player, I think. Alright. Offering me white peace, which I'm going to refuse. And, alright, let's see how they hold up against some samurai here. I guess is not very well. Yeah, they've chosen to retreat, so we're going to continue to pursue them. We're just going to knock that army out, and then we'll take these guys kind of the long way around and go after Garama, which has a pretty good amount of population, actually. Ooh. Okay, they decided to retreat, but I'm not sure why. They actually have a larger navy than I do. I feel like they could have possibly won that battle, unless they're, like, substantially lower combat strength than my units. I was going to make some cogs here, but I'm thinking I might actually just need some more infrastructure and other things. Like this great fish market in here hasn't been built yet. I'm really low on industry in this city, in my opinion. I mean, I could maybe move a couple more onto industry here just so we build things a little bit faster. Housing's doing all right on industry. Maybe let's start working on those Teras before we finish that Maker's Quarter, though. And over here, this cog's just kind of healing up as it comes around the coastline. And here, I could poach resources. Let's go ahead and do that. Get a little bit of poaching done. Okay. And end our turn. Slowly recovering. I'm gonna buy that commons quarter. Okay, we're back on the map. Let's buy the Terra as well. We're at 25%. And I think this Terra will get us over the top here once we're able to do that. We could also consider maybe detaching here and just reattaching it later. I think that's actually worthwhile. This isn't contributing a lot to the overall city. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay. These guys just keep running in circles around my territory, basically. It's fine. I'm just going to keep chasing them until I catch them. They do have higher movement than I do, but the AI are also pretty stupid. So, like, right here, right, they just keep running back into my units. All right, let's put these Naginata into action here. I'm otherwise not going to worry about my units. I can just one-shot those units right there, which is pretty wild. I guess here, let's try to take those Javelin Riders out. There we go. And then I can maybe get these Great Swords. See, I was hoping I could get the Naginata up there. I guess I have enough adjacency combat strength to knock those guys out, and then I can just bash those guys with some crossbows. All right, pretty easy victory there. Oh, 4 options. This is a weird menu to see. -2 unit upkeep, huh? Do I really care about faith generation anymore? I mean, maybe. I need to push over here a bit. This one feels a little more sustainable to me. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's just increase our faith output. Over in Memphis, we're also going to want to build more of these stone rings for a little bit of extra faith outputs. We'll also get a little bit on the Terra because they are religious districts. Agrarian stars, new wonders available, manufactories are available, all sorts of fun things. Three-masted ship could be an option. Probably just start on gunpowder warfare, though, just so we have the arquebuses, because we need those upgrades available. I'm going to refuse that. And, alright, let's start making our way over here. I'm going to leave this area entirely undefended, which isn't that much of a risk right now, but it could turn into a problem later. I'm going to grab Santa Maria. A little bit of extra faith, but main thing is that +5 influence per territory's under religion's influence is really what I'm most interested in. I could build it up here as well, just to get a little bit of stability back into Nok. So, yeah, it's recommending right here, which isn't a terrible location, it feels like. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So Santa Maria's going up there. Let's just buy out that Terra really quick, since it's pretty close, that one as well. Just want to increase my influence output as much as possible to make sure I'm getting those Aesthete Era Stars, since they're worth a little bit more. Terra as well can come online. And then let's just maybe grab some of this easy-to-build infrastructure in here. Some of it is not worthwhile. 16 money isn't too bad. We will need this industry in here eventually, though that's at a stability cost. Maybe I, like, grab a commons quarter first. +19 stability there isn't too bad. Is there another better option? I don't like that it's adjacent to the admin center, because you don't get... I don't think you get a stability adjacency from admin centers, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we build it right out here, just because I can build out in this direction a little bit more. Come on, you. Just gonna have to, like, build a knight or something to chase them down. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of idle with those units, I think. And down here, okay, we have some manufactories available, which I kind of forgotten about. Okay, so the only one here is silver, so we'll go ahead and get it here. What do I have here? Marble. Okay, great. I didn't see that in any of my other cities. No, there's not enough for salts there. Not enough for dye here. Nothing for either of these. Housing. We can get pearls and housing. Okay. Let's grab that. And Thebes. have enough for lead. Not ideal. We don't have as many as I would actually like. None of those have any manufactories. Don't have enough manufactories up there either. Okay, we're just gonna hide in a corner, I guess. And hope they can't kill me. Oh man, they can hit me from a really long distance away, actually. Alright, well, good to know that I'm actually going to need a real navy in order to make that crossing when the time comes. Let's get our units moving here. Okay. Interesting that they decided to make that attack once my units were kind of in the battlefield there. Kind of odd. We're just going to move all these units back here. Did I get everyone? Nope, there we go. And probably just like force concentrate my cogs around this channel here. I just don't want them eliminating my units, you know? Do something like that. Weird attack for them to have made, considering how they retreated before. When they actually had like a pretty substantial unit advantage. Alright, let's see what they're up to. Okay, we can definitely deal with this unit here. Grab a little bit of adjacency on some of our units. Can we move out here? Yes, we can. Right here. Okay, we'll need to make all those attacks. Let's do it with a unit that's a little bit higher health. And I'm going to... they can't quite get there. I was hoping I could actually maybe use some of these units for some adjacency bonuses. But they're just not quite fast enough. They can attack there as well. And this unit's already taken a little damage, and I would take a lot attacking them, so I'm just going to stay put for the time being. Thankfully, they can't attack him again. I'm going to pull them back. They'll take some damage, but just enough to still be alive. They have just enough health to still be alive. We're going to concentrate on this cog right here. Let's maybe get a little bit of adjacency for this guy. There we go. That'll open this spot up here. I'm going to move here for some adjacency. And... this is... I do get a combat strength debuff, but I want to plug this gap so they're not attacking my knight. Maybe I can kill them if I get a little bit more friendly unit bonus. Not quite enough. I'll take the risk that this guy dies just to knock their unit out. Okay. Now they're moving all their units in this direction. That's actually good for me. Okay, we can just completely surround this unit here. There we go. And that starts filling in the gaps here. So this unit has the maximum adjacency that I can get. Work on that cog just because it's higher combat strength. Don't think I'll be able to get them unless maybe I can do this. There we go. Then we can hopefully knock them out. Great, just one turn to win that fight. And that's going to open up this canal a little bit for my units to actually get over here. So I kind of deliberately avoided the... Okay, I might need to heal these units. Hopefully they can't actually get to me. Leave me alone, please. Okay, kind of baited them. So I kind of deliberately left three-masted ship because my unit from the last era, from the Swahili, this Vitepe allows you to embark and disembark immediately, right? So I can actually cross over like this without needing to waste turns. Right, so it leaves me a lot less vulnerable to getting intercepted by units like this. And then this way, I can actually proceed immediately into sieging drama here. Which has quite a few units. I'm curious if they would sally out. I'm going to, I think, build a couple trebuchets again. I have fewer units here than I would normally have to play this aggressively. Do I have any more crises? Let's renounce a few there. They won't have any because I'm at war. Let's renounce that one as well. They can wait. And Noak still needs some basic infrastructure as well. Make sure we're getting some of that stuff online. 21 and 14 money there, why not? Fishery is not really worth it here. You will want the granary. Let's make sure we're not losing population as well. I do want to basically keep farmers maxed out. Okay. And then... I don't know why I wouldn't just do Banish. And actually, speaking of Banish, I have this Banish population that I'm going to do on all my cities. So I'll lose a population, but it'll increase my income a decent bit. Where do we want a Terra? That's either of those is fine. You can build one there. Taxation office, also probably worth building. We do have some new science infrastructure. I feel like this city's still very behind in its industrial output. Maybe I slide this Maker's Quarter in after this Terra here. Might even just purchase that Terra, just so we can start working on the Maker's Quarter right away. Don't like leaving things like half-built in my queue without a reason for doing so. Okay. And we'll end our turn. And we have one trebuchet. Is that enough? It probably is. I would like to, though. It does make it quite a bit easier to destroy the walls, given my relative lack of ranged units. So we can go after this guy. Are they retreating again this turn? It would be really nice if I could actually kill them. There we go. Okay, so we finally get to watch the Naginata destroy the Hunnic hordes. Yeah, just smash them like that. 62 versus 23 combat strength, just no chance at all. I don't feel like I really need to make this shot, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, and up here, we'll just idle the cogs for a turn. And what do we want to go into? We could go to chartered companies for money and science. We will want naval artillery as well. Maybe we take movable typeface first, just so we're keeping up in science, though. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, they have some crises on me, that's fine. End our turn. And now we have a couple trebuchets. Don't think they have brought in any additional reinforcements. We're going to go for an assault here. And these trebuchets have pretty long range, and I think they have indirect, so back here actually makes a lot of sense for those trebs. And we'll just leave our like high combat strength units on the front line here. And just maybe we'll be able to hit with some of these crossbows. My guess is, though, we're just going to need to break down these walls. And make a couple shots. I guess where these guys are, I can get a shot in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just kind of camping out on the front line here with some of these knights. Oh, they have reinforcements here. I didn't realize that somehow. That's actually not a terrible position for them to come in. I might lose these knights, which would kind of be a bummer. But if they don't manage to kill them, I should be able to save them, just because my Naginata are going to absolutely shred some of these units. Okay, got a little lucky. I can't wait for them to start randomly moving around units in the ocean. We're definitely going to go for the extra 10% science there. We can also claim another wonder. Taj Mahal is probably the play. Hotel would also be helpful this game. It's helpful every game I play, really, but I think Taj is kind of my default here. Extra 100% money on traders is pretty good. We'll grab a little extra influence as well from our Esthete ability Cultural Blitz. And let's see, we have a proposal here, a non-aggression pact with the Poles. Yeah, I mean, they're small fries at this point. Let's see if they'll trade. Because if they start trading with me and buying things from me, then I can get a little bit of extra cash here. Maybe grab this marble and some of the silk as well. And pearls would be good. Okay, I think that'll do for now. See, they're a little bit bigger than I thought, but still. I think my primary opponent this game is probably yellow still. Okay. So that's a pretty easy hit there. I kind of want to conserve the Naginata to deal with the Haras. So I can get that there pretty easily. And knock those Javelin Riders down. Then if I move a unit right here, I think I should be able to knock them out. And I don't remember if they have more units over here. Let's just run these. Yeah, there they are. Ah. I may have moved them in the wrong direction, and now they will die to the Haras there. I forgot about those ones. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Oh. Can they not make that attack? See, I'm kind of confused why I couldn't attack with these units. Like, I had visibility here. I moved them into a position where, you know, I can melee them. I don't know. Kind of odd. Okay, well, I'm going to lose that knight. It's not that big of a deal. The thing with knights is that unless you take a culture that can upgrade them, there's no upgrade, I think, until tanks, which is a really long time to wait to upgrade units. Yeah, they just attacked them there. These cogs we don't need to worry about right now. That crossbow we can't upgrade because we haven't built any of the niter stuff yet. So let's make sure we're getting that online. At saltpeter, I guess. And right here we can influence purchase. Where else do we have saltpeter, if anywhere? A little bit down here. Let's make sure we get that in the queue. We'll finish that Terra first, actually. And I think that looks like it. Alright. Back to this fight. Knock those guys out. And over here, we can hit some of these draftees. Did I not use the trebuchets in the last round of combat? If so, that was a big mistake on my part, and I didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's pull these knights out. We'll move these Naginata up as somewhat higher strength combat units. And they can actually get over the walls here, so probably should have had them in front to start with, but I'm also kind of glad that I didn't because they cleaned up that reinforcing army quite easily. Alright. Hurry up and make your moves. I know they're just like shuffling their navy around because the AI loves doing that. Maybe I can get these stone walls down. Not quite, which is kind of a bummer. Actually not going to attack in here because I want to attack that same tile next turn with my trebuchets anyway. So I don't want my own units there. And that'll let me knock the wall down and I could get knights and my one remaining war elephant into the city. Refuse that white piece. And let's actually start moving these units over this way. I don't think I really need them in this channel anymore. And we could also build Taj Mahal. Don't know if... I mean, it would help with stability up here. It does also provide yields, which is kind of nice. Like, down in this city, we could use it a little bit. Though, those yields aren't amazing. 12 and 18 is not bad. Anywhere else that it would go well? 22 and 14 there is not bad. But I do think the stability is a pretty big benefit here. I do worry about Asur being a little bit more vulnerable. But I do think it's worth it. Let's go ahead and put it in. Just buy that commodity market there. No, what else do you need since that was the last thing in your queue? We'll grab the aqueduct. We'll grab the theater. Just like really low investment things that will kind of pay off in the long run. And then maybe we can grab another commons quarter, perhaps. What would we replace? a decent bit of industry to lose. I don't mind losing the money as much. Go ahead and drop it there, I think. I can really tell the difference with the Swahili, right, in the cities where I've built the emblematic district compared to the cities that I've just recently captured. Okay, so walls are down here. Let's go ahead and pile in. And over here, we'll take our shots at the draftees. And in we go. And also get the knights in. Get a charge here. Get a shot on those draftees, and maybe we can shoot from there? Not quite. They should almost be out of melee units at this point, right? Yeah, I think I should be able to grab this flag next turn. They also have just like a spy master sitting on it, which is pretty trivial to take care of. Hopefully. Okay. A little stronger than I thought. Maybe... What can I hit? Okay, they can hit the spy master from here. Still not quite enough to get them. Let's... Where is my last Naginata? Oh, he's up there, and I just haven't moved him back yet. So what if I do that? Then I can get a charge right there. We'll take that shot. Oh, and that actually... No, that didn't kill them, right? He's just invisible? Or did I, like... Did I miss him dying from something? Yeah, he's just invisible. So we can go ahead and attack with the great swords now. And then I guess we move those great swords up. That spot can actually hit. There we go. Get those draftees. Take that attack on the spy master as well, just to deplete its health a little bit. And I should win this fight here. Yeah, they did more damage to this guy than I was expecting, actually. And there we go. There's Garama. Our other cities are pretty far away. I'm not sure I'm really interested in going after those other cities. Just keep buying out some of these Teras. Let's get everyone on Taj Mahal, so we're generating some money. We'll get that Hamlet. Thebes, we'll buy that Tera, why not? And yeah, I guess we can just grab a Tera down here as well. Put it in slightly more. I guess that's actually a good amount of stability there. We'll add it in there. And then Memphis, Montage. Okay, looking good there.
The written word was...
So I think now we basically just maintain a presence over here until we have won this battle. Or until we've won this war, rather. They're going to start taking ticking war support damage pretty quickly here. Don't even think I need the full army. I think I probably reposition some of these units to start striking in the other direction. You can also get the coffee manufactory, actually. Did I... Yeah, I grabbed some more coffee over here. I think this is the only location that I have coffee. Yeah, I have 3 total. So, kind of an interesting manufactory there. It's pretty vulnerable, but it's the one place that I have to put it. Don't think I need more Teras in here, really. It's been a couple days since I played, so I'm kind of forgetting what cities were doing what. I think up here, yeah, Fanghao, I had been producing some science on. I think, yeah, like 64 science from that is really strong. Then we'll just kind of add things to the queue like that. Let's make sure we're continuing to grow. Aojing, artistic expression. Okay, extra influence and stability on commons quarters, I think, is worthwhile. We'll take that. And we'll probably grab some of the science infrastructure in here as well. Just add that to the queue quick. Scientific correspondence, I will refuse for reasons I've outlined many times before. Maybe not in this particular episode, but I think you all know my feelings about that particular agreement at this point. Okay, let's make sure everyone's fully upgraded, and they're just going to idle again until I've won that war. Up next, we are going to need naval artillery if we're striking east. Supply lines would also get us city cap. as well as the grain silos, actually, which would be good to keep my cities growing. So I think I'll grab the city cap first, because I am about to take another city that I'm going to want to hold on to, I think. And I do have some decently substantive penalties to my stability right now because of how far over the city cap I am already. So I don't want to add to that pain in some of my newly acquired cities. Alright, there's a little curiosity there to pick up. Keep those units moving east. And I guess these guys... I would like to explore the ocean that way. Let's maybe buy that Terra. Maybe I just wait for naval artillery before I do that, though, so I'm not taking damage in the middle of the ocean. Okay, someone's been knocked out. I guess... Is that a player... Oh, that was the player that was on my continent. Haven't they been knocked out for most of the game? Or are we, like, just now getting that notification? Seems a little silly. Okay, we have a vote here. Okay, we've adopted naturalized colonies, which is the one that I wanted. Could also try to get some of these effects here if I start contributing. Plus 3 signs on city or outpost for territories following your state religion would be nice, as well as the extra percentage. Let's contribute to all of these, I think. I'd like to get this one first, I think. This extra percentage yields are quite strong. And all these units just keep on moving this way. Do I have any crises here? I don't. I'm going to have to find a way to start getting some crises. I think everyone else I can just renounce. Very limited number of crises at the moment. I don't have any more manufactories available, I don't believe. Yeah, I'm surprised I don't have dye. I guess there's quite a bit of dye in the world this time around. Okay. Just considering my kind of next moves here. So humanitarian aid with the Poles, sure. Wonder if they'll sign diplomatic cooperation. Great. That'll get me a little bit more leverage when they pick up leverage. I find the AI are a lot better about generating leverage than I am. And let's see, it's our turn to propose something here. And... I just want to do one that everyone already has. Like, I've adopted everything that I want to adopt. I guess this one would get me a freebie. Sure, let's go for this. I would prefer paid wages. We'll get some people on board with that, it looks like. That'll get a free swap. And some more crossbow upgrades. Keep them moving. There we go. Ah, here's a little enemy right here. I think next turn we'll be able to ask for their surrender and then maybe pivot some of our forces after that. So let's make sure we're getting everything we're interested in there. And is there anything else we want? I suppose we could just vassalize them as well. Is that the preferred option? Because these... Garama is like an okay city. It's a lot of islands. But it's like, okay, there's an okay amount of buildup here. And it is very high population as my main consideration. Unfortunately, I can't really see the amount of industry. Okay, I guess it's 172. Yeah, it's not great. I don't quite have enough. Okay, I guess we're just taking their city. That's fine. So, Garama. Alright. We can plug in this Terra. And... oh man, the Forge is going to be helpful. Fishery will be helpful eventually. Too bad I didn't take this when we had access to the Swahili stuff. Take the public fountain. Unfortunately, right now I have no way to increase growth because of my current stability. So we'll just work on the Teras, I guess. We'll want some harbors in here is going to be the main way that we add growth. So let's just get a few basics queued up that can work on while it loses population, I suppose. Next up will be naval artillery. And these units are all going to go this way. So naval artillery will get us access to some substantially more powerful ships that we're going to need in order to deal with the yellow player, I believe. Look at my religion here. Yeah, I still think I want a little bit more faith up in this direction. So yeah, like right there is a ton of stability for Memphis. And then maybe... yeah, like that's a lot of science coming from that infrastructure, so let's go ahead and add those in. Memphis is also probably going to need those, though I guess we focus a little bit more on money here. Let's maybe get the tourney fields and the armory, because I am likely to be using Memphis as a city that produces military for me because of its proximity to yellow. It also means I want to try to get its industry up as much as possible and make the most effective use of my industry, right? So this tourney fields gives me a discount on unit costs, which is why I am interested in it. We might end up using this city too. We'll see. I could get the Jaguar Warriors from my agreements, but that doesn't seem necessary right now. Cultural Entente. Will ignore generating and oppressing my people grievances. Okay, that's probably fine. Plus 20 food per territory, plus 20 industry per territory, 2% influence per turn to maintain. Yeah, I mean, that sounds okay to me. Don't see the effect, really, but maybe I'll just take a look next turn. Sometimes it can take a minute to update. Okay. We're going to make that demand. Okay, I'll withdraw my demands. But just any way I can to start increasing my war support. I'm just not ready to, like, declare a war on them quite yet. We're working on High Furnace here, because the city has some production issues. So we'll fill in some of the gaps with some maker's quarters. And here we're going to have some production issues as well. So let's make sure we're getting some maker's quarters here. Yeah, both of those seem quite good. So we'll let that city finish those two up. I think next up is potentially chartered companies. You could also go for siege cannons or flintlock. I think chartered companies positions us well economically, though. And we are ready to go up to the next era if we so chose. Yellow has already done so as the Mexicans. Okay, they're really going all in on food. Let's move these units out of there. And take a look at my stars. Not even, like, still have a long ways to go on the aesthete stars. Many of the stars, really. Part of the trouble with VIP, right, is that it's progressively more difficult to earn some of the stars as you do well in previous eras. Okay, anything else that I want? Okay, hotel has been claimed, which is kind of unfortunate. I could go for St. Basil's just to help deal with this. Might be worthwhile. Let's go ahead and grab it. Also, will reduce the impact of their Angkor Wat, I suppose. It doesn't seem like they put Machu Picchu in there. It might be somewhere else. So if we... that doesn't... What is that district? Just a commons quarter? This has higher just yields in general right there. Go ahead and drop St. Basil's there. Just because I do want to make sure they are limited on their faith impact. And these cogs, they're just going to kind of come up here into striking range. I actually can't navigate that channel right there unless I declare war, so I guess I would have to spawn units here. What's the man of war cost? 5 turns. Ouch. Okay, so we're going to need a barracks. We're going to need a tourney fields. We're going to want an armory. And that should get our man of war costs down a decent bit. Use science investing, I guess. I don't want to be forced to take the open-minded civic, because I am currently generating religious grievances, which I do want. Also going to need some units kind of up here, just defensively. We could try to get a couple Naginata, just to make sure I don't succumb to Hunnic hordes. Okay, there's a builder star. Was that builder? Or merchant? I actually didn't read it close enough. I guess it was the merchant. That's the one that's kind of highlighted there. We actually might need to keep one of these armies around. Maybe we'll keep the knights over in Garama so we don't need to actually build units there, because it's going to take them a long time to upgrade. And I can deal with the Mongols with knights still. I don't need the most up-to-date units in order to do that. Let's see, okay. They have an interrupted trade route. I see, they're taking over people. Yeah, we're going to have to deal with them sooner rather than later. I am worried about a science disadvantage here. Okay. Let's just keep idling here. We need to spend some time upgrading these cogs into Carax. What we really need are some men of war in order to really effectively deal with them. Ooh. Yeah, the 40% resource accesses required reduction is pretty strong, assuming that there are actually any manufactories left to build. There are a few. Yeah. I think I am going to take that one. And hopefully, yeah, that'll get me access to quite a few more manufactories. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. It's exactly what I needed, because I feel like my outputs are still struggling a little bit. But getting some of these global outputs could be pretty good. Oh, I'm under attack here, I guess. Okay, they're attacking me with knights, which can't actually do anything when I'm in a city. Just gonna keep ending that turn. Okay, so Noke, we can get a salt manufactory here. Go ahead and just buy it. You can also get our cultural blitz. I'll just do it wherever. It doesn't matter that much. Feng Hao. Okay, we have gold and we have gemstones here. I think it's the only city we have them in, so we're just going to queue those up. Now Jing, yep, Sage, and I guess we'll finish St. Basil's first, and Dai. Dai's a little bit more important, so we'll add that one. Thebes, we have Mercury. Let's queue that in. And let's see, anywhere else? Memphis is good. Akamiya's good. Alright. I don't think I have any outposts that can get anything here. Oh, I guess I can get the incense there. And I think that was clear. Okay. Scientific correspondence. No, thank you. And, okay, these guys are still moving. These guys can idle. And these guys are still waiting for upgrades. Next tech. Yeah, I guess we're going to need Flintlock. We're probably going to need siege cannons too, but Flintlock allows me to upgrade my existing suite of units. Okay, I didn't realize I turned automatic battle on there. That's kind of odd. Oh, I have some other manufactories I can get in Garama, actually. Make sure we're getting those. So, okay, great. Saffron and the silk. Want both of those, thank you. And the rest of our funds are going to be spent on upgrading these cogs. And they can idle there, and these units are getting pulled all the way over this way. Alright, Civic Osmosis. Yep, that is the one that I want. That extra stability on cities that I occupy. And... pushing... Oh, 84 money. Definitely want that over the Manuscript Atelier. Also get the Cabinet of Curiosities. I still also want more industry in here. Actually, we can get into the kind of forest area here finally, which is really good for industry. So we're going to start building those out as well. The manuscript atelier kind of in the back. Feels like the least importance of the options right now. I'm just going to take kind of the recommendation with some of these makers' quarters. Okay, scientific correspondence. Again, just going to refuse that. And those Naginata can idle. Upgrading our cogs. We do need to produce at least a couple men of war soon. Our armory is almost done here. Let's take a look at this. 4 turns to produce. What's the actual production cost of this? 3,150. I think if we get one more maker's quarter in here, we can get the number of turns on that down a little bit. Let's put a couple more people on industry. Okay, I can get that to 3 turns right now. Let's get at least one of those. And maybe we can get another one over in Memphis. It's 4 turns. I don't think that's quite worth it yet. Rather get there than there. I have so much stability already because of the Swahili that like some extra stability matters a lot less than extra industry. Okay, I think I'm going to go for freedom of speech. Reduce costs of canceling and enacting civics, I find can actually be kind of important. Take a look at my era stars here. So I have like 12k to go on those aesthete stars. It's like 10 turns. Yeah, these Teras just don't feel like they're doing enough for me as far as my actual influence outputs. The +1 per population is okay, though I do have some like lower population cities. Would be nice to keep them growing. I mean, I guess I have like all the specialist slots filled. They're not that bad at the end of the day. Stability per number of accesses to luxury resources in all cities. Okay, let's take siege cannons first. 3-masted ship is probably my least important one. But we are going to want mortars here before we attack yellow. We're basically just setting up to go after yellow. Okay, so they're coming after us. We are not going to allow them to pillage that. Hoping they don't have any, like, real reinforcements here. Okay, that'll do. Have an event. Defiant. Okay, we'll go for this one. Really don't mind losing a single population, especially not when we're in a food deficit. Kind of beneficial. And we are going to, yeah, look at that. 44 food on a harbor. We are definitely going to take that. Another 44 food there. That'll do nicely for us. And here we can just use these Naginata to murder these knights. Look at that. Bam. Yeah, I know they're an era ahead. Oh, don't do this to me. I hate when this happens. Sometimes you can still end the round, even when this is bugged out. I'll come back to that in a second and hope that I don't need to reload my save. But every once in a while, that seems to happen. It seems to happen more frequently to me once I get into the early modern, in specific. I don't think I really encounter that issue much before early modern. It's just once you hit early modern that I really start to notice it. Maybe that's just because I'm initiating more battles or something. I don't know. Let's see. Probably, yeah. Harbor, I feel like, might be the play here. Let's... Yeah, I suppose people on money are probably worth more than science at the moment, since I'm kind of coming to the end of the era. So let's rebalance some of these to more appropriate locations where that's feasible. Okay, that's all balanced already. That one is too. Put a few more people on money. Can get one more on food. Do something like that. All right, that feels a little bit better. And next tech, we'll go for mercantilism. So a little bit extra industry on worker, as well as the commodity luxuries. Both sound okay. Not that I really need that much extra stability right now. Not amazing food on the harbor here, because I have more limited... what's the word I'm looking for? I have more limited coastline on Osur. Those I could maybe attach here. Oh, I have the ebony manufactory available. I only have the one ebony. I guess I'm probably trading for the rest of it, so that's probably the case. Now, I could attach here. I feel like that would do a decent bit of damage to my stability, but it might be worth it because there's a lot of maker's quarters down here. Let's attach. Okay, still stable. We can also get a Terra, which would get us a little bit of extra influence. It's not the best Terra in the world, but it does provide stability and some influence, so we're going to take it. And it does help our industry a good bit. So I'm just going to slam people. Actually, let's do food first, and we'll slam people onto industry. I'm going to maybe go on expert policy here. Yeah, that looks good. And still want some more industry in here. I would really like to be up to 1,000 in most of my cities. Non-aggression pact. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about them anymore as far as their ability to win the game. So if I can guarantee that they're not going to attack me, I think I'm fine with that. I'm going to refuse that. And is there anything else that I can buy that I'm interested in now that I'm looking at this? I suppose I have the incense manufactory. Let's go ahead and take that. And a little bit of saffron would be nice too. Okay. Still struggling to get that as the era star, which is too bad. I don't know how long I can afford to sit in this era, given how much time I spent waiting in, was it the classical era that I kind of hung out in for a long time? Okay, Memphis. Memphis. Still 4 turns on the Man of War. I don't know. Yeah, I think I just need to up the industry here. And let this place produce a couple of the Men of War for me. My other option in Memphis is to get this garrison down. Just put it on the edge there. And get a couple of these mortars going for me. And they can reinforce right away. Okay, and Feng Hao at the bank will produce a good amount of money there. Still need influence. Cabinet of Curiosities will be a good amount of science as well. Those will want the stock exchange in Haojing. Okay, closing in on the end of the era. Let's get that Man of War moving. And we have another one coming up. It's going to be 3 more turns. Make sure we actually have... Let's do expert policy again here. Yep, that looks good. Just the default expert policy, actually, which feels kind of weird. Oh, did not mean to attack from that direction, but it's fine. And these units are basically standing idle until we get some upgrades going and we're ready to actually go to war with yellow. Now, we do have Forbidden City, which will help in that respect when we declare war. I think it's likely that it'll have to be a surprise war. Yeah, I'll sign monumental contractors. It's fine. Sometimes they'll be building something, and you can help with it, or basically just build it for them outright and get like a ton of influence or leverage from doing so. Sometimes it feels like it's worth it to have signed monumental contractors. And there's my other Man of War. Also claim a new wonder. Merchant Star, Aesthete Star. Okay, great. Just take a look at our stars here. Another 11,000 fame. Man, Science Star is really going to make me eat dirt here on that. But also attach 1 more territory in order to get the expansionist stars. And probably attach this one to Haojing would be a decent option, I think. There we go. So also let us get another Terra here. Just kind of hide that in the back. I'll just go ahead and buy that one out, just so we're generating as much influence as we can. And we should also be looking at harbors, maybe, just for a little bit of extra food generation. Okay. think I've caught this guy now. Again, I did not mean to attack from that direction. Let's go from here. Oh no, never mind. They spent a turn coming back. Well, if we can just keep them retreating, it's all good. Go ahead and get 3-masted ship, the last tech for the era, as we like really try to close in on this last aesthete star. Doesn't seem like I'm going to get it in a timely manner. I just don't really have any other way of increasing my current influence output beyond what I already have. Also, this manufactory is a lot better than I expected it to be. Manufactory is not great in the base game, but +3 industry per workers is actually pretty okay. Let's make sure we're getting that in all of our cities. That bank is also quite good. And here, want the manufactory. Probably want the tourney fields and armory in here as well. Housing. Yeah, that manufactory, let's just slide it in there. Okay. I guess, actually, maybe we want something like that first. I'm going to just buy that farmer's quarter because I just really want all my cities to keep growing as much as possible. Right. Still wonders. Brussels worth claiming, or do I want to save influence to the next era? I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to not get it. It is a good amount of fame, though, is the other consideration, right? Because I do have a good number of wonders at this point, and you get fame for every wonder when you have Brussels. So yeah, I'll claim it, and we can probably just pump that out really quickly. Yeah, look at that. Good amount of stuff there. Just buy that quickly. I'm pretty, like, not judicious with how I spend my money in Humankind. I find if I don't just, like, spend it all the time, I end up sitting on it. And that is just worse than not spending it at all. I will encourage. I don't want a chance of bad consequences. Thank you very much. I'd like to avoid bad consequences, as a matter of fact. Okay, so we've reached the end of the tech. And let's take a look at our era stars here. So we need another, like, 4K. So that's, like, 2 turns. I think we could definitely do that. And if we could maybe... We need one more unit to get caught for our militarist era stars. I'm hoping maybe we can manage to get these units caught out. Where are they going? Right there. Yeah. So this is going to be our militarist era star right there. Need 2 more districts for builder. We will get the scientist star next turn. We'll get a merchant star next turn. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling okay about the end to this era. I do think we wait for that final... whatever star, the aesthete star. Is it exactly 2 units that's adjacent? Yes, okay. So we don't want to put any more units adjacent to that Man of War, because that'll actually decrease its overall combat strength. We're just going to have all these other units kind of out on the side. And now we have to figure out where their units are. There they are. They're way in the back. Okay. So let's get our adjacencies here. And we'll just start off by hitting that one there. And I guess what we can do is get some more adjacencies here. Can I hit anyone from that location? No. Let's just have like a back line here. I'm going to take those couple attacks and then kind of move another line of units in front. Do something like that. And I can focus fire on this one here. Such a big battlefield that they provide you for these naval battles. It's a little disorienting sometimes. Alright. So they've done a good bit of damage here, so let's make sure we pull them out. Take that basically free attack with our Man of War. This is why they're so important. They're just so much stronger than the escort units. So you really need them for your naval battles. I have found since the naval rework that I am using naval units more frequently. And also that It's more important to have them in order to like get to ground on foreign continents. So I've enjoyed the naval rework. I know that was a while ago that it was first implemented, but okay, make sure we get our adjacency here. There we go. And let's move to engage this last unit down here. Get a nice formation of units. And we'll just kill it on the first shot anyway. There we go. And there's a militarist era star. Probably not going to get that Diplo star. Alright, so we'll wait at least one turn here. Then refuse that scientific correspondence. Oh, I did not adjust the spawn points, which is a bit of a mistake. Let's make sure spawning units up here. Maybe we add in like an extra mortar. And I also like looking at some of this again. Yeah, bank. Yeah, we can just buy that. We want to start generating those outputs as early as we can. Okay. Scientist, merchant. And aesthete. Oh, we're 2 away. 2 turns on aesthete. So it might be worth it just to get the builder star as well. As long as we have a maker's quarter coming up, yeah. Or any quarter, really. I saw the maker's quarter and defaulted to maker's quarter, but it doesn't have to be the maker's quarter to get the builder stars. It's any quarter, as you all should well know. Okay. And combine all those units. Alright, so you have a decently powerful navy. I would prefer more men of war, but it's not bad. So there's our builder star. Oh. And yeah, that science star is impossible, basically. You'd be in this era for so long. And then one more turn on the aesthete star. Use that again. What I should maybe start doing is hitting placates here. Introducing their war support. There we go. There's the aesthete star. So now I can think about who I want to take into the next era. Let's just combine some units here. I'm going to set some of these guys up to push into enemy territory. Mohenjo-Daro is going to be a key target because of the number of wonders here. Oh yeah, there we go. There's Angkor Wat and Machu Picchu there. That's a key target to take. Let's get our diplomat down there who's just doing cultural bridges up in Harappa and just get a little feel for what this city currently looks like. So they do have some defensive units. So they have their musketeers here. Yep, they even have mortars, actually. Okay, so this is going to be pretty tough. We might need a larger force than we actually have at the moment. So maybe we just like go all in on mortars and Naginata. We could do something like this. Oh, did I get some like saltpeter pillaged somewhere? Oh, they're pillaging this up here. That's a little annoying. Okay, Nook needs something to build. Okay, 21 gold there. And yeah, just need a little more industry in here as well. Let's just fill in that area. They can idle. And Garama. Still missing some basics. Guess we get the theater. And maybe a harbor. Yeah, those both look okay. That's a decent amount of outputs for harbor. Let's take a look at who's available. So the Mexicans have been taken. Ethiopians. I haven't really built garrisons this game, so I don't think that's really an option. Persians. Caravanserai. I do have an okay number of trade routes. Argentinians. Okay, a little different. Plus one worker slot, count as maker's quarter. Nice 10% army upkeep on army, 5 stability per salted beef. Okay. Okay. Austro-Hungarians really don't need the stability. The British. They'd be okay. The colonial office is really built around having the what are they called? The vassals. I don't know if that's the pick for me. French, I mean, are pretty much always a good pick. Seems pretty similar to the baseline game. Brassiers would give me an option for the knights as well. Germans, +1 combat strength per veterancy on unit. Okay, that could be good. Reducing industry cost would be good. U-boat could be good. The coking works. +1 industry per pollution. Interesting. 3 industry per coal. 3 industry per adjacent maker's quarter. So no more industry per population there. Okay. Hawaiians. Hawaiians actually are maybe a consideration here. The Koa warriors are decent. The Loco Kuapa would actually let me keep growing as well, which could be perhaps worthwhile. Italians, stability on Commons Quarter. Yeah, I mean, the Italians are great. I really like the Alpini. The Teatro is a good, good emblematic quarter. Russians, extra stability on administrative center. Experience on creating units per number of attached territories in all cities. Okay. 7% industry per workers on city or outpost per train station. Interesting. That's a pretty big boost to industry, actually, and reduce city absorb cost. Sobor looks like it's basically the same. So this is the main change to the Russians, which could actually be pretty crazy. 10% industry per worker on city or outpost per train station. How much am I getting in, say, Haojing here from my workers? So I have 16 times, call it 20. So that's 320. So say I had, I don't know, 5. I mean, that's only another 160 industry, assuming that works the way I think it works. So it's not that insane. I guess maybe there's like... Oh, that would actually increase it a bit. I haven't finished the manufactory in here. Let's finish the manufactory and take a look. So it's 19. Let's call it 380 from workers. And still, 50% of that, that's an extra 190 industry. I mean, that doesn't... I feel like that doesn't really compare to like the Siamese or the Persians, maybe. Hard to say. Let's take a look at the Zulu. Zulu still kind of suck, in my opinion. Yeah. Extra health regen, combat strength on supplied units. I mean, the Impy is fine. Warriors is Zulu. I mean, yeah, very little reason to take the Zulu. Impy would give me like an upgrade on the Naginata, I guess, but the melee units just become so irrelevant later in the game. I mean, the Siamese is also, of course, good option here, given the amount of coastal terrain that I have with the floating markets. Scots, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of decent options here, right? The Germans are probably a pretty good one for me, given that I'm going to be playing quite aggressively here. That reduced unit industry cost in the U-boat could make a pretty big difference. And Hawaiians for the growth. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of, like, okay options here. So let me know what you all think as far as my culture for the next era. I'd be curious what everyone's interested in here. And I'll take a look at the comments and see what I'm feeling like going up into the industrial era. So appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time.